hello, everybody. Welcome to another week. It is Monday, and this is Back to the Window with Scott and Scott. I am your host, Scott Steehn, lead handicapper at winnersandwhiners.com.
And I'm your co-host, Scott Reichel, senior handicapper over winnersandwhiners.com.
And together we team up and do this every day, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, help everybody try to get those winning tickets and head back to the window. David Good in the Hizzle from Arizona. Good to see David. Scott, how'd your weekend go?
Went really, really well. I basically lost nothing. It felt great. Really not much to complain about. Hell, I even won the NASCAR race. So, yeah, it was a pretty good weekend. Hopefully it carries over into the week.
Won the NASCAR race. Scott, how did that happen exactly? You had Kyle Busch, obviously. It was weird. It didn't even look like he was battling for the lead there at the end of the race. How in the world did he win?
He was waiting. He knew the environment, and he was waiting to pounce. And then Briscoe was a double agent, and he spun out Reddick, and Kyle Busch, I believe the term is slingshot. So he, slingshotted his way to victory, right?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, from half a lap back.
Just absolutely. He wasn't even in the camera angle. That's only a half-mile track, so the camera angle picks up just about everybody. Kyle Busch wasn't even in the shot as they were battling for the lead. Unbelievable. Very nice. I had a decent weekend. I actually been good on my NBA as far as premiums go. Hit the last 7 NBA picks. I'm happy about that. Still getting it a play of the day, Scott. I took a mental health day on Saturday. I'd lost 7 in a row, so I just took the day off. And of course, the one that I liked was Milwaukee under, and neither one of them got to 100. So perfect.
That was a hideous basketball game.
Oh, it was just god awful. If you can't beat them, cheat them in racing. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. That's what they say.
I was gonna say Kyle Busch didn't even cheat. He just stood there.
Yeah, he just really didn't do much. So
did you blame Briscoe for going for it?
No, of course not. You all knew what was going to happen. If you ever been to a dirt car race, seen the last lap, that's what happens. You get underneath them, you put a little slide job on them, you block them, and you're done. And
I'll tell you what was impressive. I was shocked Reddick came in second place. Briscoe came in like 22nd.
Yeah.
Like he completely spun out. But somehow Reddick came in second, which kind of impressed me. Like I figured he came in 10th.
In true gambler fashion, I talked to you today. The first thing you mentioned is you're pissed off because Briscoe didn't get to cash his heads-up match that you had, his matchup.
I wasn't pissed off about it because it ended up winning me the Kyle Busch thing.
Right.
I said the worst beat in that race was the Briscoe one over Suarez.
Yeah, okay.
Which we both had.
We both had the same thing. Late in 172, that hurt. So anyway.
It closed at 200. I mean, it was a great deal. It was up 15 spots with one turn to go. And there you go.
There you go, indeed. Hey, we want to thank everybody for stopping by, of course. Get all this stuff out of the way. Don't forget to like and subscribe. No, David, I don't beat myself up. I don't. I feel bad because I know people watch the show and they expect decent picks. And we run bad. And I do the same thing in real life. If you're running cold, stop banging your head against the wall. Take a day off. I can reset. And it's exactly what I did. So yeah, we're good. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe. And this is going to become important because this is the last week we're going to be live on the Winners and Whiners YouTube channel. We'll probably say that again as more people join us here today. We are going to be officially moved completely to the Max Wagers Network, at least as far as the live broadcast goes. So if you're used to tuning in live, next week it's going to be all Max Wagers Network. Now, if you watch it later, you'll be able to watch it wherever you normally do it, picks and parlays, winners and whiners, whatevs. But we are really wanting people to get over there and get subscribed to the Max Wagers YouTube channel. So please do that, and we'll see you over there a week from today. So, Scott, any comment on that?
So you said this is the last day or the last week?
Last week.
Yeah, okay.
Last week. I was
going to say you might want to make an announcement later on when we have more than 11 people.
I even said that. I even said I'll revisit.
No, I know you did. I'm just reminding you. I'll remind you in a bit. But
that will probably be absolutely necessary. So.
I'm definitely, I'd say, I'm looking forward to seeing what Max Wagers Network is going to look like with all of the subscribers and all of the actual videos on the one central feed only.
Right.
So hopefully that goes well. As for my personal plays, I don't know if I'm uploading it to Winners and Whiners or not. So we'll, keep that in mind, and I'll update you accordingly.
Yep. We'll see how that all turns out as well. And looks like I'm going to be, at least for a while, co-hosting Chris King's show with him. Jim is he's more of our administrative guy, kind of overseeing all the shows. And I don't think he was ever supposed to be in that role permanently. And now that non-permanently is over.
He's a popular human being.
They sliced Jim pretty thin, is what I'm saying. So I'm going to take a little bit off his plate as far as that goes. There may be some other guest co-hosts over there with Chris, but I'm going to be doing that right before our show. So yeah, it's going to be a great lineup as always over there at Max Wagers Network. Of course, you've got Sean Higgs doing Midday Money at noon. Allie Burns doing Morning Wood at 1 o'clock. The aforementioned Chris King and, myself, starting next week. Jim will be finishing out the week there. And then you and I at 2. Sean Burns, or 3 rather. Sean Miller at 4. And Lenny, Nick, and Tim at 5 p.m. doing Game Time Decision, kind of wrapping up the day, talking about the line movement, weather, things like that. So,
wait, so when's your first official day with Just Parlays?
A week from today.
Oh, okay.
That's the word. That's the word that I got this morning. So we'll see. Do I sub to this channel too? Yes, Calvin. Please sub to both channels, to the Winners and Winers channel and to the Max Wagers Network channel. We want to make sure that we get you in both spots, and we'll be over there, like I said, live a week from today. So, DraftKings, Scott, cool place. I like DraftKings. I like what they're doing. We've got a great promotion going with them for Major League Baseball through the end of this month. Any $5 money line bet in baseball wins you $200 worth of free action over there at DraftKings, regardless of whether you win, lose, or draw your baseball bet. So I guess it's a little tough to draw a money line baseball bet, so never mind. Win or lose, you get the $200 in free bets. You've got to be in Arizona, Colorado, Connecticut, Iowa, Indiana, Louisiana, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, Wyoming, or West Virginia. I've been everywhere, man. You got to be 18 years or older, except in where, Scott?
18 years or older, except.
21 or older, except for the 218 states. What are the 218 states?
Delaware?
Nope. It is, but it's not.
Is it New Hampshire?
It's New Hampshire is one. Delaware is another one, but apparently DraftKings isn't in Delaware. So.
Take that. Delaware.
It's New Hampshire and pew 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 pew. Yeah.
Texas?
Wyoming, the Cowboys.
Oh. I was gonna say I don't think gambling's legal in Texas, but I remember New Hampshire was one, and I remember Delaware was the other. But apparently Delaware's not cool enough for DraftKings. Yep,
there you go. So, like I said, you got to have a DraftKings sportsbook account. Put your wager $5. There you go. Between today and the 1st of May, and promo code WAW video, Winners and Winers video. The link is in the description of our video for today. Scott, I know Caesars is doing something cool. Want to tell everybody about that real fast?
Yeah, sure. So, of course, if you like to bet on anything, the one thing you would like is an insurance policy.
Yes, sir.
And they got you covered over at Caesars, because if you bet $1,100 on your first bet, you end up getting it back if it loses in the form of free bet. That's up to $1,100. So if you only want to bet $500, for example, then you're still in line for the promotion. But it's a great deal because it allows you to gamble on something with a way of getting your money back if it loses. The promo code is ATSWIN SCZR. And if you do that and you've never used Caesars before, your first bet is going to be guaranteed.
There you go. Up to $1,100. Cool thing. Like I said, ATS wins Caesar. ATSWIN SCZR. And the link is in the description of the video for that, as well as is the code. So, Scott, let's find out what happened yesterday. Over the weekend, there was a lot going on. We had basically 3 days action we got to catch up on. So let's find out who were the winners and whiners this weekend, Scott. Who took it in the shorts and who took it to the bank? Who's counting that money and who's pulling out their flip phone and calling the cops? All right, very good. Hey, let's get started in the NBA playoffs. If you had, oh my goodness, Scott, so sorry for your loss. If you had the Brooklyn Nets on the money line, plus 160 against the Celtics, they led by 1 with 1 second left. Of course, we've all been told KD plays elite perimeter defense, Scott. Does he?
Well, wasn't in the perimeter, so...
Well, he could have picked him up at the perimeter, I think is the point there.
Yeah. The truth is, I mean, you're going to mention, I'll talk about it after.
Tatum hit the layup at the buzzer. Nets lose by 1. Congratulations. Tear those Nets tickets up. They were down. They came roaring back. They were in a position to win. Couldn't stop that last layup. Call the cops.
I was on such a heater over the weekend gambling that even though the Nets lost, I had Tatum over 30.5 points. And the layup at the buzzer gave him 31.
Yeah,
So it was one of those weekends.
29 going into that last shot. Yeah.
I mean, it would have been a bad beat anyway because he scored 0 points in the final 9 minutes of the game before the final layup. But still, that was definitely an interesting ending. We'll go back to that because that's one of the best playoff games, at least for game 1 of a series in a while. But anyway, switching over to hockey, if you had the Blue Jackets plus 1.5 against the Ducks, they trailed by 1 goal with less than 1 minute to go. You know they're pulling the goalie, even though Columbus has nothing to play for. And Anaheim scored. With 56 seconds left, the Blue Jackets lost by 2.
And in kind of a microcosm for people that bet on the Islanders a lot this season, they were going up against the Maple Leafs, playing them on the puck line plus 1.5. They trailed by 1 with less than a minute left. Empty goal. Just keep it out of the net. Just keep it out of the net. Nope. 9 seconds left. There it goes. Boop. Right in the net. Sorry. Islanders lose by two. Islanders ain't going to the playoffs. And, yeah.
Toronto is.
If you had the boys in blue there plus 1.5, so just call it a season. It's over. Call the cops.
Well, you said that you watched a decent amount of that game. How good is Sorokin?
Yeah. Very good.
It's amazing. The fact that you even were sweating that Toronto cover, I know call the cops definitely fits the situation. Toronto probably should have been up by 5 goals.
Yep.
Sorokin was standing on his head the entire game, but yeah, it is what it is.
Very little defense there for the Islanders. Just horrific.
Definitely true. Toronto, though, good team.
Yep, they really are. Scott, there was some good news out there, and perhaps you had a good weekend. Maybe this was some of your bets. You know who you were. You had the nice, easy time of it. No sweat required because you were sitting in the rocking chair.
So the first one in hockey, if you had the Blues and the Predators over 6.5 goals, can I interest you in 8 goals in the second period?
That'll do, big.
The game landed 11.
Very nicely done. Very nicely done indeed. And if you had the Heat over the Hawks, the Heat team, a team that I picked to reach the finals.
Good team.
They got off to a nice start. 6.5 over the Hawks. That was no problem. They led by 19 at halftime. No taking their foot off the gas. I'm going to show them who their daddy really is. They end up winning by 24. The Heat is on.
And the last one, the Heat is on. Yeah, if you had the Pelicans and the Suns under 224.5, I actually gave that out as a lock on Twitter. Pretty solid first half because the Pelicans only scored 34 points. You had 87 points in the first half, picked up a little bit in the second half, but I mean, you didn't get 140 in the second half.
No.
Game landed 209.
Yep, that was a premium that we had as well. That was they don't get a lot easier now, but they literally put up 17 in each of the first 2 quarters.
It was a clinic. Then the Pelicans scored more points in the third quarter than they did in the entire first half, but it still went under pretty handily.
Ninja said he wants to be a guest on the show. We should do that. We should have a guest spot one day a week.
Like a call-in section, but on an actual live stream?
Yeah, put them on a live stream.
I'm in for that.
I mean, we've set
a brief 4-minute question cameo thing.
Yeah, something like that. Like, give us your best pick for the day. Maybe we'll come up with a. I know there's a guy that does local sports talk, and he does like every time he has a guest on, he does like the final 4, and ask him just 4 random sports questions. So maybe we could steal some hybrid of that and rebrand it and call it our own.
I'll think of a name for that, but I like the idea.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I like that, Ninja. We could have it on it. And we've obviously set the bar pretty low for looks. So it doesn't matter what you look like. As long as you got a camera, you can somehow
the
hook
hat
up.
complements my good features.
Yeah, it really brings out something there. Brooklyn choked by not trying to score a 2 and making it a 3-point game. I can't argue with that.
I mean, you want to actually go back to the
future,
to the actual game itself,
if you'd like.
So, I was asking because I don't know if you watched it. It was a pretty crazy game.
I watched the end. I watched the end of it. I watched the last quarter.
That's all you needed to watch. I mean, when you come back from 15 down and it comes down to the wire, you kind of only needed to watch the fourth quarter. But the last possession with the scramble, I know you can criticize Durant for his defense. Last possession didn't really bother me. It was a mad scramble, smart pump fake. You had two people that jumped on and tried to block it, and it led to a layup. It was just a frenzy. I'm shocked Boston didn't call a timeout. So I'm not really bothered at that possession. The two possessions that bothered me were the two possessions prior, where the Nets ended up hitting that three-pointer from Kyrie. They were up 3. Out of the timeout, they immediately let Jaylen Brown get a free layup in 5 seconds, which will let Boston go 2 for 1. That made no sense at all.
Right.
And then I have no idea how Steve Nash doesn't take a timeout in your final offensive possession of the game to organize something. And instead, you settle for a 35-foot fadeaway three-pointer by Durant. I don't know how Nash doesn't take a timeout there and at least draws up a play. So those were the two possessions that bothered me. As for the last possession, it is what it is. You had a bunch of defenders jumping around. It was chaotic, and you got a layup out of it. So I can argue that the Nets should have played better defense because, of course, you gave up a wide-open layup. That was pure chaos. The issue I had were the third to last possession and the second to last possession.
Okay, very good. Watching the USFL over the weekend?
I actually dabbled a little bit. I caught a decent amount of the first quarter in that Generals game. A couple of early touchdowns there. You had the 50-yard bomb or so in the first drive.
Yep.
But the game was close. Generals lost, so they're going to fit right in with New York and Jersey because, besides Buffalo, teams in my area aren't exactly winning many games. But, yeah, it seemed like it was a pretty decent weekend. The weather was a disaster. So if you wanted to actually bet some unders, which I told you was my theory for the first week of a brand new league, you tend to want to bet the unders. I know the unders were undefeated yesterday. They're having another game tonight. My initial look, under, because it's the first game for these two teams. So
what was the total in the Philadelphia Stars?
It was lowish. I believe it was in the 40s, I think.
Well, like the 39, it was 39 for the Stallions, and they went over. That's what I wondered if.
What did that game land?
52.
But that game went over.
Yeah.
The other two games went under.
Well, that's what I wondered, because if the Breakers Stars were 39, it went over also because they landed at 40.
No, that was like 41.
Okay.
That ended up going under.
Scott's got to make their own brand and take it to the moon. Get picked up by,
I am happy about John Boy, though. The thing is, I don't think John Boy can pick us up because now they got picked up by Yes.
Yeah.
So they're officially network people now. They're still doing their YouTube thing, but I don't even know if they're branching out to do that. But I don't know. I know you have opinions on Barstool, so I don't think that's going to happen. But I like John Boy. I mean, as a Yankees fan, I watched their recaps. I think they're very informative. But now they're on the Yes Network, so we're going to see what happens there. So far, they've been pretty good.
I actually think we're positioned pretty well with the new venture that we've got going. I think we've got enough heft behind us where we could actually maybe even take it to the moon from where we are. We'll see. I don't know.
Like a Dogecoin moon or like an actual moon?
Oh, like the actual moon. No.
Like the actual moon?
Okay. Not Dogecoin where you hit the atmosphere and then you plummet back to Earth. Mm-hmm. All three South teams beat the North. Take Tampa Bay tonight. Sounds like a trend to me. Shit, I don't care.
Well, I think that's because these games mean more in the South, right?
They're all in Birmingham.
Isn't that the slogan for the SEC? The games mean more.
Yeah. They're SEC is maybe a little arrogant about their football. Just saying.
A little bit, but the entire conference roots for Bama when every other team gets eliminated, which I think is stupid, but that's how it goes.
Hey, tickets are still available for this game tonight, Scott, down there in Birmingham. If you wanted to make
$4.
I don't know how much the tickets.
I thought you had the cheapest ticket price when we were going to play the guessing game.
Okay. Let me. I'm pulling it up right now.
My guess is $4.
What's it? Get in the door is $4. You're low, sir.
$4 cheapest ticket.
You're low. $10. $10. That's right.
Okay.
Suck it.
I mean, it's the season. It's the grand premiere.
Yeah, I agree.
I undersold the importance of Monday Night Football for the USFL.
I was just looking to see.
I'll tell you the main takeaway that I have from all these expansion leagues. Of course, the talent isn't going to be great, so you're not going to see great football. But the camera angles, the reviews, there's a lot of little there's a lot of stuff that the NFL could adapt. Did you see the helmet cam?
Yeah, that was cool.
The pick 6 on the helmet cam, I thought that was awesome. The drones I thought were pretty cool. You don't really need them, but they help with the camera angles. And yeah, I thought that there's a lot of visual stuff that these new leagues are experimenting with that I think the NFL could implement in the near future.
So we've got Paxton Lynch and Shea Patterson tonight, quarterbacking from Michigan. First of all, who do you start?
That's tonight or that's next week?
Isn't that tonight?
Oh, I know.
Michigan already played, didn't they? Sorry, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because Lynch had a grand total of 1 yard.
Yeah, it wasn't great. I saw those stats.
It was bad.
Yeah, and then okay. Let me go up.
I think there is a game tonight, though, but I think you're just mentioning the wrong team.
It's Pittsburgh playing tonight, right?
The Maulers? Yeah, I think that sounds right.
The Maulers. That's right. It is the Maulers. And you got any thoughts there?
Any thoughts on the game itself? Under.
Okay.
And I said, no matter what, first week of a new league, I'm going to lean to the under.
All right. Fair enough. You know who the quarterback is for either team?
No. Actually, wait a second. Who are the Maulers playing?
I don't know.
Okay, great. Okay,
I clicked off that page.
No. I'm gonna make it easier. No.
Okay. Josh Love and Kyle Luletta.
Okay, Luletta, I know
from Richmond.
He was in preseason with the Giants and the Browns.
They're playing the Stars, by the way.
Josh Love. I'm trying to think if he was on San Jose State or
Very good. Very good. San Jose State. That is correct, sir.
I wasn't aware he was good enough to make it into the league. So that's the thing, is that if you tell me the names of the quarterbacks, I probably remember them because I watched a lot of college and, as you know, I'm not afraid to gamble in preseason football. So I know a lot of these guys.
How about for the Stars, Brian Scott and Case Cookus as your quarterbacks?
Okay, Brian Scott won MVP of, I want to say, the Spring League, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And I don't know about the other one.
Where'd he go to college?
Who?
Brian Scott.
Oh, he went to some BS college I never heard of.
Occidental. Very good. Case Cookus, Northern Arizona, sir. There you go.
Yeah, I think he was on the team that might have beaten Arizona a couple years ago.
All right. I've got to like Pittsburgh there just based on the quarterback matchup.
Which one has Luletta?
Yeah, that one.
I like Luletta.
Yep. They had one play where they said a laser measured the ball 34 inches away from the first down. They have a laser in football? I guess they do.
Yeah, they officially said that they were going to be using a chip in the football to measure instead of using the chain gang, which I feel like is definitely going to be a solid point because a lot of people hate the way that it's all, I'd say, I don't even know if I call it a subjective, but these referees in the actual NFL are awful at measuring football.
It's inexact because
that's the word.
If you've seen what they do, they have a little clip that they put on that marks the yard marker, and then they run it out and they match up the clip with the yard marker. But I mean, a lot of times those measurements come down to quarter inch, half an inch, and it's just inexact as far as those kind of.
But the point is that, of course, when you need an inch and they measure it incorrectly, and it's going to stand because they can't overturn it, then a team gets screwed. So the fact they have a chip or a laser, whatever you want to use, to get an official spot, I mean, how am I not in favor of that, right? That's an innovation I'm a fan of, as long as the chip isn't noticeable when you throw the football.
Yeah, agreed. Paxton Lynch played like himself. Very good. Lynch fumbled accidentally.
Yeah, Dost, I was a fan of Tiamu. I thought he was pretty good at Ole Miss. I know that he was pretty good in the XFL as well. He's decent. I mean, we'll see. Once again, you have a lot of guys who are playing for the first time with each other in an actual game environment. And you have first-time play callers as well, because a lot of these coaches either have a little bit of head coaching experience or not much, or they haven't coached in a while. So it might take a little while for both teams to potentially get going.
Tiamo was in camp with Kansas City, too.
Yes, he was like the first guy to get COVID on your team.
Yeah, absolutely. So
he was the scout team guy.
He was the scout team COVID guy. Yeah. This week we're gonna find out what it's like if the other quarterback gets COVID.
He was the one who was simulating Lamar Jackson, right?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly right.
He didn't do a good job because you lost that game. So I wonder why.
David Good said he would pay money to see all blind football players play. Am I going to hell if I laugh at that? Can I even laugh at that?
I think you can.
Okay.
I mean, they've had blind snappers in the league. Now, I'm assuming it would have to. There probably exists. You probably have like a sound effect ball that is playing some type of audible noise, so that way you can actually track where the ball is.
Yep.
They do that in baseball.
Yeah, I've seen people with the balls, and that's
Hmm?
it makes me when I go out there and strike out and slow pitch softball, and then I watch a blind person hit it. That's really the self-esteem boost.
Yeah, it sounds like a smoke alarm. It's just a beeping sound that goes off when they pitch you the ball.
Jordan Love and Jordan, I love you, says Bronco Devil. Big rain tonight in Birmingham. Is it still? I know they've
Under.
been fighting weather all week.
The weather is going to be bad, so I still like the under. I mean,
okay.
The quarterbacks matter until you realize they can't throw the ball in a monsoon.
I would say your $4 target point for tickets to the USFL games probably won't take long to get there since they're all being played in Birmingham.
Tickets should be free if you're going to be going there and it's going to be pouring rain.
Is that a weird deal that they're all in Birmingham?
I thought it was weird.
I don't know that I understand the concept there.
I'm guessing they can't afford travel.
I guess.
No, you save a lot of money that way. You have one venue, you don't have to rent out a bunch of stuff. Like, I feel like it's convenient that way, but
we blew our budget on RFID balls. We got.
I mean, what do you think? The only thing I could think of is that they can't afford to have all these stadiums being used.
I don't know that
they have to use one stadium.
I don't know that it's the stadium usage so much as just the travel. I think you got it right the first time.
It's both. Moving
the entire team, putting them up for a night or two, and the Motel 6 they are not cheap. So
yeah, they'll keep the light on for you.
Ever been to Birmingham?
Alabama? No.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place.
Never been there.
It's not. I don't know. It's okay. It's
that's one of my favorite team names, though.
It's weirdly
Birmingham Iron.
It's weird.
It's a hell of a name for the XFL. The Iron.
Yeah,
it's a hell of a name.
Yeah. It's a weird combination of like factory town and like out in the middle of nowhere boony kind of thing. So
I'm assuming they make iron there.
I believe there's some smelting involved. So
yeah.
Took the Twins over 10.5. Lucky to win. I was watching that earlier. It was I just saw them make it 5-2. I didn't know.
They won 8-3.
Okay.
So Minnesota got there. I saw Buxton got injured again. What else is new?
Shocker.
That wasn't today. That was a couple days ago.
Supposedly
he got injured. Trout got injured again. Yeah. What?
Supposedly no structural damage to Buxton's knee. Is what I heard.
Yeah. The more things change, the more they stay the same. You're a week in, you got Buxton and Trout injured already.
Well, we talked about that with Tim because he thought this would be the Angels' year because they've got Trout and he's healthy and like how long is that going to last? You and I both pointed out the same thing. Like
I get the under on them every year because they can't pitch and you're assuming half the team gets hurt.
Yep.
I'm impressed though. Rendon made it through a week without getting injured. So congrats to Rendon. I'm assuming he'll get injured again.
Yeah.
Happens every year.
That's a pretty much a de rigueur for Rendon.
Yep.
So we have him and Trout out at the same time. What's Trout's official designation? What happened?
He got hit in the hand with an off-speed pitch.
Oh.
So I believe the MRI came back negative. I don't think he broke anything, but it looked like it was an 80-mile-per-hour curveball. So it wasn't like a fastball right to the wrist, but it hit him. Came out of the game probably as a precaution. Cool. I doubt he'll miss that much time.
Okay.
But the fact that he's already potentially injured is upsetting, but not surprising.
Of course, when we saw him walk to third base last year and then step off and head to the dugout, we didn't think he was going to be gone the rest of the year either. But
yeah, pretty much.
There we are. Smelters would be a better name. Whoever smelt it dealt it. There you go. Birmingham, no for some foolish statue. Yeah, there is a statue in Birmingham. I forgot about that, Michael. I'm surprised I didn't see that. Bundy pitched decent today.
He's been good so far.
Pitched good last time. Yeah, absolutely. Lex Steele in the house. What up, Lex? All right, let's do a little. Do a little NBA tonight, Scott, because you and I we've got a farm play, and it's not on the NBA. So let's break down these games here this evening, and then we'll talk a little bit about the baseball card, of course. Good day for these two favorites, as Philadelphia took care of Toronto easily last time out. And Utah pretty much led by about 6-7 points the whole time, and they ended up finishing out that way against Dallas and covered that 5.5 or 5, whatever you got it at. So let's start with Toronto, Philadelphia. Scott, Philadelphia laying 7.5, 216 is the number there. Philadelphia, Toronto did a pretty nice job. They relatively shut down Harden and Embiid. They had, I think, 41 between them. Forgot about a couple of other guys, Scott. How's that going to work out for them?
Well, we both have a play that in on this game. We just have different plays. So I have the Sixers -7 at the time. I know it's 7.5 now. My logic was going in. Nick Nurse usually punts game one with Toronto as the coach, and they usually do better the rest of the series.
Dreadful, by the way. Dreadful first game record for.
Yeah, awful. Which, some people are marathon, not sprint guys. Like Ty Lue's the same way in his playoff series. They're not very good in game one, but they'll manage to win in 7. But I can't look past the injuries. Toronto's just missing too many guys. And Thaddeus Young, decent veteran role player they picked up. He's most likely not going to play. The main two guys, you have Gary Trent Jr., who's their best three-point shooter, battling an illness. He's doubtful. Has he been officially ruled out yet? Or
No,
is
I got him as still doubtful with illness.
Okay, so it's most likely he's not going to play. And the main injury is Scotty Barnes, and he's been ruled out already. And Barnes, you can make a serious argument. I know that Siakam and Van Vliet are veteran players who are all-star quality. Scotty Barnes might be the most or second most impactful player on that team because of his defense.
Right.
And the fact that they gave up 131 in game one and Embiid only had 19 points, and now they have to guard Philly without their best defensive player.
Yep.
I think is a serious problem. So even though I acknowledge that Nurse is a coach that you really don't want to overreact game ones to because he tends to punt game one, I can't look past the injuries. I think it's too much. And if you're going to see more Achua and more Birch, good luck to you because I don't think Achua is any good. Give me Philly. I just think they're going to win handily. You?
Yeah, I'm. Yeah, like I said, I've got plays all over the place on this. I like the. I had the for my play of the day. I've got the over there as well.
Yeah, it is official. Ninja, good point. I saw that on Twitter today. It is officially National Velociraptor Day.
Nice.
And the Raptors are playing. So if you have National Peacock Day 2.0, then the Raptors might win. But I can't look past the injuries. It's just too much to handle.
If you guys want to see something to make yourself laugh, go to YouTube and put in Family Guy T-Rex. You know what I'm talking about, Scott?
Is that the one where he complains about his arms?
Yes.
Yeah.
If it doesn't make you laugh, we can't be friends. I'm sorry. It gets me every time. Utah, Dallas, Scott. My name is Luca, and I've decided that I'm not going to be able to play.
His name is Street Clothes now.
He lives on the second floor, but no. Is there anything? They were game. Dallas was game the first time around. They hung in there as best they could, but Utah pretty much kept that lead throughout the entire game. Anything change for tonight, buddy?
Yes, I'm taking Dallas.
Okay.
In fact, I think they got a shot to win the game. I think it's really concerning that Dallas was so awful from 3, and yet Utah barely won the game. You can go through the numbers. Mitchell, we know, was awful in the first half, very good in the second half, but Dallas went 9 of 32 from 3. They attempted 34 free throws, so they did get to the line a lot, and Gobert might have had one of the most impactful games for a guy with no field goals that I've ever seen. He went 0 for 1 from the floor, and yet Gobert was the best player on the floor. 17 rebounds. He was phenomenal defensively. He was great. But I actually like Dallas tonight because Utah only won by 6. They came from behind, and Dallas almost could not have shot worse from 3. I actually do like Dallas tonight. I think there's a good shot that they have to win the game, in my opinion. I think this line's too big.
Okay. Yeah, I don't hate that. I would lean that way just because now they've had a game without Luka. They've had the personnel. They've given them an entire game to get right. And like I mean,
defensively they looked fine. Just offensively they sucked. But you're hoping that a couple of guys can make more shots. Held Dinwiddie missed what, like 8 free throws in game 1?
Yeah, not.
I mean, they would have covered had he made even half of those. So Dallas hung around.
No, he was 10 of 16 from the line. It seemed like
That's what I'm saying. He wasn't good,
but he missed everything late. It seemed like.
Correct. So the point is that do I think Dallas can do enough to hang around against a Utah team that really struggled offensively? We mention this theory all the time. If you like favorites, you kind of hope for a higher scoring game because you have more points. But in a low scoring game where the total's 205.5, I actually don't mind the under in that game, to be honest with you. But if you're looking at the first team to 100 wins or the first team to hell 95 wins, I'm not going to lay points.
Yeah, this is a Dallas team that knows how to play defense. They played very good defense all season long. That's how they've been getting it done. So, Bronco Devil talking about Mitchell over 27.5. Yeah, I think somebody's got to score. He had 32 the first game. Of course, Bogdanovich had 26.
32, and he had like 9 in the first half. Like, he was useless in the first half.
Yeah.
He took over the game.
Yep.
So, I don't mind that. I'm trying to think of what else I would look at. Gobert rebounds, I feel like I'll have to be tempted by. He had 17 in the game, but he had, I think it was 10 at the half. And based on how valuable he is defensively, they have to play him like 35 to 40 minutes every game. Because defensively, he covers up so many mistakes that the teammates make here.
Right.
Besides that, I don't mind Dinwiddie assists over. He had 8 in the first game. He played 36 minutes. Him and Brunson really have to play 40 minutes. I expect that to be I'd say an adjustment that Jason Kidd makes. I know Dinwiddie was bad at the line, but based on just ball handling, Dinwiddie and Brunson are the two most important players, right?
I think that's the way it absolutely is. That's because you're
I don't know how
you're really running a pair of point guards there.
I was going to say, so I don't know how Finney-Smith and Bullock each played 44, Brunson played 41, and Dinwiddie played 36. I think you have to flip those. Dinwiddie should play at least 40 minutes.
Yep.
He should.
Yep, agreed. You worried about the fact they had 3 guys play 40 minutes or more, plus Dinwiddie played 36? You worried about a fatigue
some of that
factor?
was foul trouble, because Dinwiddie had 4 fouls. He was kind of battling foul trouble early. But I'm looking at a spot where I do believe that Utah offensively is really Mitchell or bust. I know Bogdanovich was great in game 1. I don't know if he's going to go 11 for 20 again. He's still a solid offensive player. But they don't have many guys that can create their own shot. So I do think Dallas can make some adjustments defensively to make life difficult for Utah. But I just don't want to lay this with the Jazz. Do you?
No, I was fine laying it the first game, but I do think there is a possibility that Dallas, like I said, I think they gel a little bit better in this game. I'm a little worried about the fatigue. Those guys playing that many minutes. I'd especially be worried about it on game 3 if they play.
I was going to say game 3 might matter, but even for game 1, I mean, Mitchell and Bogdanovich still played 40-plus minutes. So
right.
When it comes to fatigue, the rotation might be smaller because Luke is out, but a lot of the main players on any given team are playing 40-plus minutes in a somewhat competitive game. You
like Kim and Jimmy over Lalo?
Can I get them separate, or do I have to merge Kim and Jimmy?
I apparently have to. At some point, you're going to have to get them separate because they don't stay together.
I was going to say if I'm merging the two, then I think it's going to push.
Okay, I think it's going to be a push.
See, because I don't. If I'm going to view Kim and Jimmy, I think Jimmy's going to make it because, well, duh, you had Breaking Bad,
right?
And I think Kim and Lalo's a push. So, do I win if Jimmy is the last one standing, or is it a combo deal?
I think you're all right if Jimmy, if any of the above are still standing. So I think you're.
If any of the above are still standing, the odds have to be like minus 900 because I know Jimmy for a fact is going to be standing.
All right, fair enough. Jordan Poole over 2.5 threes.
I'm not going to say no. Poole's a lunatic. That's a series where I liked the series price going in. The Warriors minus 1.5 games is around minus 115 or so.
Right.
Now it's minus 185 to win this minus 1.5 games for Golden State. I still love it. I think they're going to bury Denver. Like, Denver scored 37 points in the fourth quarter to almost kill my team total under.
Right.
On Friday night. The game wasn't close. I mean, you're looking around. Jokic didn't play well, but Golden State really just, did a good job of keeping him in check. Their supporting cast is awful. Like, Golden State on paper should win that game. Should win that series in 4 or 5. You?
Yeah, I agree. I thought Denver might have a little something for them.
At no point did I think Denver had any chance of even winning 3 games in the series. I'm not sure they're going to win 2.
Yeah. John Cena says T-Rex was hysterical. Never saw that one. There you go. So yeah, you guys, if I take a special time to let you know that I think it's something funny, it's going to be funny. I'm not going to lead you astray. By the way, we do have a few more people watching now, so I'm going to remind everybody that starting a week from today, the live broadcast will be available where, Scott?
Max Wagers Network.
Only. It will be on It'll be later on YouTube and Picks and Parlays, but it will be live only on Max Wagers Network. So we're trying to expand our footprint, as the kids say over there. So,
yeah, Roland, I get that argument. You can also make the argument that besides Golden State not being a good first quarter team, that Denver might come out with a sense of urgency because they need this game and they can't afford to go down 2-0 and whatever. The thing is, Lex, I can agree with you too. I think Jokic plays a lot better today. My argument for why I like the team total under in game one was if Jokic goes for 35, can the rest of the team combine for 75? And the answer is no.
That's the thing.
Because Golden State, with a healthy Curry, with a healthy Poole, with a healthy Clay, I feel like they're going to walk into 115 every game. So do I think Denver can do enough to score to keep the games competitive? I don't. It's like watching them against Phoenix last year. Like, they got swept because you just watched every game and said, wow, this team's not even close to Phoenix.
Right.
It's kind of the same boat as the Golden State series. I'll tell you what, I'm going to lay the 185. I do like it for 1.5 games. If Denver wins 3 games in the series, either somebody on Golden State got injured or Jokic deserves another MVP. Give him 2 MVPs for the same season. Because there's no chance that this team deserves to win 3 games.
Especially with Draymond being healthy. And
yeah. Defensively, they're great. Offensively, they're great. What does Denver have?
Yep.
Their second best player is arguably Aaron Gordon. Like, they're screwed.
I don't even think it's arguably. I think he absolutely is. Somebody asking about Jordan Clarkson tonight. His point total over, I think it was 10.5. I actually like it. Clarkson only played 20 minutes in the first game. I think they've got to get him in there a little bit more to give these guys a little bit more of a blow. I think he probably plays 22 to 24. So I'll take Jordan Clarkson over there.
He's a ball hog, but he gets buckets.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I agree. And even if he plays 15 minutes, like let's just say worst case scenario, Clarkson is in the semi-doghouse, plays 15 minutes. I've seen Clarkson score 15 points in 5 minutes before.
Yeah.
So you're not even dead to rights if he plays less minutes. But based on the workload and the fact that he has no conscience, yeah, I do like the over.
Yeah, he played 20 minutes before and took 9 shots, 2 free throws. So he's going to get his opportunities. Absolutely.
I really might load up on that Golden State series price, though. I know I missed the boat for about 70 cents compared game one, to now. I just don't know how Denver's going to win 3 games. I don't. Like, Golden State is so much better than them in basically every area besides rebounding.
Bronco Devil says you guys can answer any question we come up with. I didn't even think about that because I just threw the I just threw the Better Call Saul scenario out there, and you broke it down like it was a game. Well, am I getting them grouped together because the odds are definitely going to change if it's Jimmy and Kim. If it's one entity, and if one of the entities is still standing at the end, I mean, I gotta go Jimmy here. But what's my price? I don't know if I'm getting good value.
I gotta ask. You're gonna give me a situation,
and then we just go right back to player props. We just
it's a 2v1 situation, so I had to ask. I'm gonna dissect the question like a true gambler.
I didn't even think about that. It just flowed with the rest of the show, and I'm sure there was a certain segment of people going, "What the fuck are they talking about?" So
I'm not watching it tonight. I mean, when it comes to actual shows, I will binge watch all the episodes consecutively. So I'm not going to watch tonight's episode of Better Call Saul to wait until next week. I'm going to wait about a year, and I'll watch the whole thing from start to finish. That's how I go about it.
Got to have immediate gratification, huh? Except you can wait a year.
Plus there's also commercials, and I can't watch shows with commercials. I just can't do it.
Okay, fair enough. Houston Gamblers should have lost by 2 TDs. Opposing quarterback sliced them up, but kept turning the ball over. Handed Gamblers the win. Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it, Gamblers. I'm going to start asking what stocks to buy. Chicken stock. I'll always stock up on chicken stock. It's very versatile.
Well, I've mentioned in the past I do the athlete stock thing, where you can invest in players with fantasy projections and whatever, and if it goes up, it's like a stock. So I've done that before. DeJounte Murray made me a decent amount of money this season. But I might get back into it. If you want actual stocks, there's a site or so that I end up using or an app, I should say, for athlete stocks. So I kind of dabble in that. I've done pretty well.
Very good. That's the second time today Bronco Devil's just thrown out some kind of question. Didn't think he was probably going to get a real answer.
I'm going to answer everything that we got, okay? We only have 3 NBA games, and we have a play today, both of us on one game, and the other game, we've just basically covered all 3. I mean, I mentioned Golden State series price.
Yep.
So, I don't like Denver tonight. I might like them first quarter if they keep it close, but I don't give a damn. Like, Golden State if they play even decently, should win every game by 10. They really should.
JC Stone, American Idol winner thoughts. Because it was a 3-hour show.
That's out of my expertise.
I'll take this one, Scott. Because it was a 3-hour show last night, my wife fell asleep halfway through it, so that's our show we watched together. So I didn't get to see the last 90 minutes. So I'm not sure who was left off the top 20. I liked the two construction country guys. I think both of them have a good shot. I hope the other one meant. I saw the black guy that worked with Travis. Was it Travis Scott? Robert Scott? I don't know.
Travis Scott's the rapper.
Who's the country singer? Jimmy Allen.
Okay.
He worked with Jimmy Allen last week. I think he's really good. I like the other guy. I think the other country kid's really good. Yeah, that's. I don't know. I don't know if I see odds yet on that. You know, Scott, I had a big hit one time when I worked in LA. There was a stock market for movies, and I saw an early videotape of the Blair Witch Project. These guys had this video. They said, you got to come over to our house and watch this video. They found it's weird. So we didn't know it was a movie. We went over there and it was supposedly like the real deal. So I saw that and scared the shit out of me. So then I saw a month later Blair Witch Project, I can buy Blair Witch, and it was like really low. So I just loaded up on Blair Witch Project and it went crazy. It became the biggest indie movie of all time.
I was going to say, that movie I heard is not very good, but it's been seen by a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, as far as a high quality movie, once you know the secret that it's not real, it's not a good movie. If you go in with some kind of preconceived notion that it could be real,
We're in the forest and shit.
It's much better. Yep.
By the way, Chris, the name of the site I use for the stocks is called Prediction Strike. So I use that. You can download it, check it out. They have UFC, they have NBA. They actually added baseball recently. So if you do want to add some baseball players to your stock portfolio, you can do that. But I've done it with UFC, done it with NBA, made some money. Yeah, been a pretty good time there at Prediction Strike.
All right, very good. Any thoughts on baseball today before we get to the reason for the season, the reason everybody's still hanging out?
For baseball today,
give me your best baseball pick.
I like the Padres today.
Okay.
-1.5 against the Reds. I know, of course, it's difficult to lay 1.5 with a home team, but San Diego's been decent without Tatis to start the year. Manaea's been really good. The Reds got absolutely buried over the weekend, and we know the Reds are awful. I love the under for their win total because they traded half the team, but they got Lodolo back as the starting pitcher. He got shelled his first time out.
Yep.
And now he's facing off against a San Diego team that still has Machado. They still have some weapons. I expect Dolo to get shelled. The bullpens are not good either. I'll take the Padres -1.5. By the way, Chris, it's Prediction Strike. That not site. It's Prediction Strike.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. I like Minnesota.
Okay, good choice.
No, that's I guess they got
I like the live over 10.5.
They got to see how shitty. Oh yeah, Rich Hill's still shitty. Glad he's gone. I don't say I'm all in, but I'm going to make a substantial bet, and I could end up hot and committed on Tyler McGill. It's Better Call Saul Monday. How could you not bet on somebody named McGill?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take Tyler McGill. He's been very good for the Mets in his 2 starts. Laying a short price there at home. I know San Francisco's been good. Alex Cobb had a great year last year. Both these teams are off to really good starts. San Francisco won 5 straight. I'll get right in the teeth of that. Give me the Mets.
I think my concern would be potentially taking first 5 instead of full game because you get to avoid the Mets bullpen.
Yeah,
McGill mostly goes 5 innings.
True. I'll also play the under first 5.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be the end of the world there as well.
That was our first 6.5, by the way. I saw 6.5 in that game on the overnight.
Okay.
I think it's up to 7 now, but I did see 6.5.
It is up to 7. So, all right, very good, my friend. Well, let's get to it. Let's do what we do, and you know the drill. It's time. It's Monday. Got to put on those overalls, climb aboard your John Deere, get your straw hat on, because kids, you know it, you love it. It is time to bet the farm. right, very good. And here it is. It's farm day. Every day's farm day around here. Scott, I know we had a farm play on Friday. We'd lost a couple in a row. We kind of needed a victory. How'd we end up doing?
We had the over in the Angels and Rangers game on Friday, and it went over.
Hey, cue the banjos. Yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
All right, very good. Well, my friend, can't quit now. We got to have a farm play for today. What do we got cooked up?
So we're going to hockey, and we ended up not doing the main segment that we were going to do. So, yeah, it is what it is. But Hockey Favorite's been doing quite well lately, and we're going to take another favorite.
You said you were going to help me remember that.
Yeah, I'm helping you remember now. Whatever.
What was the segment, real quick?
Oh, we're switching segments now?
No, just we were going to do Gambling Hero of the Day, and it was because of the NHL weekend. Favorites went what, Scott?
22-0.
22-0, straight up. Straight up. Tank City. You always talk about tanking in basketball, even tanking in baseball and football now. I think we're ignoring the elephant in the room here. 22-0 were the favorites. All right. Anyway, so this is playing off of that theme.
Yeah, we're going to take another favorite, and we're going to fade the worst team in the league. We're going to take the Carolina Hurricanes -2.5 goals at +105. Couple reasons why. Main reason, Arizona's terrible. The Coyotes have lost by at least 4 goals in each of their last 6 games. They've lost each of their last 3 home games by at least 4 goals. Meanwhile, Carolina is tied for first place in the Metropolitan. They are kind of in the middle of a massive choke job, but they have a pretty nice, I'd say, tune-up game here to get back on track against such a bottom feeder that's been getting buried recently. I believe the Coyotes lost 9-1 over the weekend to Calgary, but Carolina offensively is still great. They have 100-plus points. They should do pretty well here. And Carolina's done well in the head-to-heads. The Hurricanes are 4-0 in the last 4 meetings. We're going to fade the Coyotes because this team is just losing handily every single game. And Carolina could really use this game to potentially build up a 2-point lead over the Rangers for first place in the Metro. We're going to take the Hurricanes -2.5.
All right, very good. On a day of NBA playoffs, we're taking a hockey play. That's right. Sometimes that's where the value is, and we do have some basketball plays that we like in various other formats. So that's going to do it for the Bet the Farm play here on Monday. That's going to do it for the show. We thank you guys for stopping by. Of course, don't forget to check out all the other offerings on the Max Wagers Network. Don't forget to get subscribed to the Max Wagers Network. Same deal. You'll get notified whenever we go live, et cetera, et cetera. All right? So we'll be back to do it all again tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. Scott and I will stop by and do our very best to help everyone here in their journey as they attempt to head back to the window. Take care, everybody. We'll see you then.